Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. Going to be listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast in our 20th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things for folks living in San Diego County, whether it's food insecurity, it's the arts, working with people with Alzheimer's or the homeless. They are involved in so many great causes. So thrilled to have in the studio with us today Tiffany Picayune. She is the executive director of the Challenge Center. How you doing, Tiffany?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can't wait to hear all about what you have going on. Joined by my guest co-host, Ella Dillon. She is doing a curiosity ship with Cloudcast Media, better known as an internship. She's an incoming sophomore at NYU, and she has a question for you right out of the gate, Tiffany.
All right.
Yeah. What is the mission of your organization?
Oh, my goodness. Well, you're going to test me if I can do it by memory. But we provide extended physical therapy and assisted fitness, specialized assisted fitness services to people with disabilities of all ages and seniors. And we subsidize those services. So we do a lot of fundraising to be able to subsidize it down to an affordable level for low-income individuals.
Right, so is it seniors 65 and above? Is there a certain
60 and older? Yep.
60 and older, okay.
Mm-hmm.
We were just talking about that recently with a group that was in earlier today, Ride Out Loud, and how important it is to engage with the senior groups. Do you work with other groups such as like serving seniors? And
we do. And also, we just moved into a brand new building and serendipitously moved in next door to Meals on Wheels and Elder Help.
Nice. No.
So we are forming a nice little collaboration there, a little campus, a senior innovation hub. And the Gary Mary West Foundation.
They're the best.
Yeah, they're the best. And they have funded us putting together a collaboration so we can put together a really unique set of services to help our seniors in the community even better.
Yeah. When did you get in this field, and why did you get in this field? What was your passion?
Oh, well, I've been a physical therapist for over 30 years, and I just really was intrigued by treating clients with neurological conditions. And my brother had a brain injury when I was younger, so I think I was really fascinated by that, and I just loved it. And I came to Challenge Center. I am now on my 23rd year of the world's longest maternity leave coverage. So
wow!
I came there to cover maternity leave and never left, and now
nice.
I'm the executive director.
Yeah. So there's a lot of wonderful seniors organizations. I've been honored to be a part of the San Diego Oasis on their advisory board, and all working together on this. We know that is an audience that is growing because we're living longer.
Right.
And when we live longer, that brings some very good things. It also brings some challenges with it, especially when it comes to health, as you well know, in this area as well. And unfortunately, I think one of the biggest growing parts of our homeless population are seniors. Talk about that.
Well, I don't know a great amount about homeless seniors, but I do understand that is an incredible issue. I know that the Serving Seniors is doing great work with the homeless population. I do know that, in general, seniors don't really, we add seniors to our mission statement as a separate comment because they don't self-identify as having disabilities.
Right.
Even if they're in a wheelchair or using a cane, they're not disabled. They're just growing older, right? So they, they just weren't seeing themselves as part of our community. So we kind of called that out. And, physical limitations are really the number one reason people start having trouble, with their income. They start having trouble shopping for themselves. And all of these things can sort of cascade down to they can't earn as much. They're spending extra money on assistance, and I'm sure that feeds into the cascade that can end up into homelessness.
Are the folks that you're working with in the Challenge Center? Or is it the challenge with them from a physical standpoint? Is it a development standpoint? A little bit of both.
A little bit of both, yeah.
Okay.
So anybody with a physical disability, we're there to help them out, or if they're over 60. But also they often have other disabilities. So, we are seeing clients literally from 2 to 102.
Yeah.
And with a wide range of neurological conditions, and also just, with seniors, it could just be, sort of arthritis catching up with them and other things. But we see every kind of condition, and we have this huge, amazing gym that is made to be universally accessible, regardless of someone's abilities. So ambulatory, non-ambulatory, and we have these amazing trainers that are personal trainers that are trained to help people work out. They can transfer them on and off the equipment. They can get them onto mats and help them do range of motion. And then we have extremely amazing physical therapists. Insurance coverage, we all think, I know that was my perception, that, okay, well, if I get hurt, they help me till I'm better. And it just really isn't that way, especially if you've had some kind of catastrophic illness or catastrophic injury. There's definitely limitations, and, people end up having to end rehabilitation before they've really met their own personal goals and what's meaningful to them. So then they can come to Challenge Center, and they're like, well, the PT told me that's it, that's all the better I'm going to get. And we say, well, do you have other things you want to do? Yeah. Well, let's go for it. And the hope that comes back into their eyes, and the excitement that they can try and go for those goals and reach those goals is an amazing thing to watch.
Yeah, no question about that. We're chatting with Tiffany Pikiu. She's the executive director of the Challenge Center. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, joined by my guest co-host Ella Dillon, doing a curiosity ship for Cloudcast Media, an incoming sophomore at NYU. Beautiful NYU. It's a great campus, and so forth. In your studies, Stella, do you deal with some senior issues at all, or you're not quite into that aspect of it?
Not yet. I think most of my experience comes from my own physical therapy, because I've been through years of physical therapy for my knees, because I'm an athlete.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and there's nothing more important, as Tiffany knows. We talked about this a little bit with the friends from Write Out Loud, and about the isolation, huge issue with seniors, to say the least. Not that it never was before, but it seems to be even a bigger issue now. Talk about that.
Yeah, we have people coming in, and quite literally that we're the only people they see all week. And so it's really, we always say it's one of the best things we do, and it's not even in our brochure, but the
Correct.
Connection, right? It's kind of the cheers of gyms. So everybody that comes, Tuesday at 2:00 knows everybody else. And we have classes for seniors. We have a warm water aquatics class, and we have a balance and conditioning class, and some other activities like that going on. And building that community is just so great to watch and be a part of. We all have such a great time together, and so I know it's life-changing for people.
It is life-changing for people, and I think, when you're younger, you don't think, oh, I'm never going to be isolated, and hopefully you won't be isolated, but it is a big deal with folks, and if you can just even imagine, take a step back and say, my day is me, okay, and that's it, and unless someone's delivering a Meals on Wheels, okay, right. Or I'm getting to, the Challenge Center to do some of these activities. And so the question for you is transportation a challenge for some of the seniors?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, transportation's an incredible challenge for them, right? And again, a lot of that can be down to their physical mobility and not being able to move. If they can't transfer in and out of a car by themselves, often Uber isn't an option. MTS has a great door-to-door program. That's what most of our clients that don't have their own transportation use. But really, transportation is a big issue. Walking all the way to a bus stop can be very difficult. So we do have that. That's, we're really excited because Elder Help offers a transportation program. And so we're going to start working with them and giving people more access to be able to come to Challenge Center. So
you come back from break. I want to talk a little bit more about the insurance thing you brought up on this aspect of it, because it is a shock to people to go, I'm sure that's covering it. No, they're not covering this. What can they do? What can you help them with? Talk a little bit more about the volunteers. That you need volunteer help in all that aspect of it. I certainly wanted to reach out and what can our listeners do to help support. Money doesn't grow on trees, last I checked, so I'm sure that's helpful. And then anything else you can think of that our listeners can do to support, we'll chat about that in the second half of this interview when we return with Tiffany Picayune. She's the Executive Director of the Challenge Center. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. We'll be right back after this short break.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast in our 20th year. Just so honored to be brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, 6 decades, doing spectacular things with important causes in San Diego County. Joined by Tiffany Picayune. She's the Executive Director of the Challenge Center. Joined by my guest co-host, Stella Dillon. She is an incoming sophomore at NYU. So we were talking a little about this before, about the insurance. Do you help them at all if insurance doesn't pick up X? Do you pick up Y, or do you bring them to other organizations that can help them out with that, or not necessarily?
You know what? That is exactly our mission. Our founder, Bill Beaudry, had a spinal cord injury himself. And, when he went back and said, hey, I'm kind of falling apart, what can you guys do? They said, well, that's it. You got the rehab you're going to get. Good luck, and don't let the door hit you in the wheels on the way out.
Wow.
So he started the Challenge Center because, people with physical limitations, including seniors, they just have such limited access to even trying to stay healthy. We all know diet and exercise, right? But how do you exercise? You can't just cruise into the 24-hour fitness. You can't go for a jog on the beach. So, and this is actually the most expensive part of our population, healthcare-wise. So an investment in keeping people with limited mobility and seniors healthy pays dividends, right? In quality of life and financially, right?
Everything.
So that's exactly what we do. When they have, we're there for after insurance coverage for physical therapy runs out. And of course, insurance never covers the gym, but After insurance coverage for physical therapy runs out, then they can come to us, and we can see them as long as it takes to maximize their functional return, maximize their independence, get them back to where they can get out and go see their friends and socialize and be part of the community again.
Yeah. Now, talk about volunteers. Do you use a lot of volunteers, or pretty much as people that are hired to work for you, or both?
Yeah, both. It's a pretty specialized area of physical therapy.
Right.
So we have really highly trained physical therapists and personal trainers, but we have a lot, just like you do here. We have interns coming from different physical therapy programs, but we also have a lot of college students that want to be physical therapists when they grow up, and they come in and volunteer and help in our programs. But we are also really dependent on and really looking for volunteers, older volunteers, to come and help in reception, helping introduce new people to the programs, give tours, and check people in. A lot of people need a little extra help in direction. They do have some cognitive limitations, so we like to have some people be able to come and kind of lead and cheerlead the clients through their programs if they need a little extra supervision. So we love having volunteers, and the clients love having volunteers. So
now, do you work with other groups like St. Madeline's Sophie Center? We love having Deborah Emerson on the show, and she's a quite frequent guest on this. And we've had Terry on, of course, and Noah Holmes.
Yeah.
Talk about the collaboration of groups like that in the space you're in.
Yeah, you know what? Interestingly enough, we kind of only just started seeing people about 10 years ago, seeing people with disabilities age and become seniors. We just weren't doing a good job of taking care of them before that. But so we have to restart this program. We kind of had a little pause for COVID and our move, but we actually put together balance and conditioning programs and physical therapy programs with St. Madeline's Sophie Center. And so every day they were bringing a bus load, and they had their own special class, and it was great fun, and getting them through all their exercises, and they had a great time, and we did too. So we have to restart that.
No, we love these guys, and they've been on for quite a while on the show, and you talk about what they do with the different events they have. They have a fashion show. So now, do you have any events or any things that help raise money?
Yes. As you can imagine, it's quite expensive to essentially be our own insurance company for our own physical therapists and physical therapy and gym program. But we do, we are putting together an event that's coming up in September, Comedy Night. So that's going to be great fun. We are always asking for the community support. You just wouldn't believe when somebody can go from, not walking at all, and they think this is it. They just got to get used to this. And then you say, no, we can try. And the number of people we can get walking again and back into their lives. And, they come in with things that insurance won't cover, right? They'll cover medically necessary goals. But if they come in and say, I want to be able to walk my daughter down the aisle, insurance isn't covering that. No doctor's writing a prescription for that, right? I had a patient that wanted to, he got too drunk at his wedding to have his first dance with his wife. And he told her that if they lasted long enough, he swore he hated dancing, but he swore he would dance with her at their 50th wedding anniversary. And he had a stroke, so he came in because I needed to teach him how to dance and get him dancing, because his 50th wedding anniversary was coming up, and he was going to surprise his wife by following through on his promise.
And is that happened? Is it going to happen?
That happened. It was beautiful.
Were you there?
I was there. It was a great party. Had a great time, and there was not a dry eye in the room. It was amazing. It was fantastic to watch.
No, that's a great story. Chatting with Tiffany Pickey, Executive Director of Challenge Center. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. Listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 60 years of doing great things in the community. So, we talked about, volunteer opportunities. Is there a website people can get a hold of you?
Yeah, yes, please. It's challengecenter.org, O-R-G.
Right. Do you guys have a waiting list at all? Or are there people? I mean, I can't imagine there's not a ton of people that need those services.
Tons of people need the services. We do not have. We just moved into a big,
You were saying that.
beautiful new facility. We're so excited. We were in a 5,000 square foot facility and had no more room for more people. And now we've moved into a much bigger facility. So no, we do not have a waiting list. And we even have just typical gym memberships for neurotypical people and able-bodied people. We don't discriminate. We allow them to come too.
Right.
We don't have a waiting list. ChallengeCenter.org, and they can find out how to sign up and come in. Anyone can come 9 to 6 Monday through Friday and see the facility. Of course, with the bigger facility becomes bigger bills.
Right.
So,
Right.
And every client we get is, we have to subsidize. So, of course, we're doing a little more fundraising for that as well.
Right. Now, do you get grants from the government? Do you get grants from individual, corporations or individuals, or all of the above? How does that work?
Yeah.
Regional Center, does Regional Center work with you at all?
Regional Center works with us. Yeah, we love Regional Center clients. They're great. In fact, we just started a pediatric aquatics class for their
Really?
clients. Yeah, so fun, so cute. They're so great. But we do have a lot of Regional Center clients, and they do support that program. We don't get any government grants. We wish that would be wonderful, but we do get, we apply for a lot of foundation grants. We are always looking for corporate sponsorship and corporate support for corporations interested in supporting people with disabilities and independents and seniors. And we rely a lot on individual donations. Yeah, those $20 a month memberships just
Huge.
They're huge. They're huge. That people don't even realize how much it is to have that little pocket of money you can rely on every month, right?
Yeah, well, it's about volume on this.
Yeah.
You're not going to turn down Bill Gates' money, but you certainly let people just get engaged, whether it's, if all you can afford is $10 a month, beautiful, we'll take it. You're engaged now. And then maybe it's $15 next year, whatever the case may be. And the same with volunteerism. We had been talking about this for 20 years. Is that if you don't think 1 hour a month helps out an organization at registration or wherever, it does, because maybe it's 2 hours next month, and that just it helps in that area of it. Well, congratulations on 23 years of working there. We all know we're going to be there someday. Okay,
Exactly.
And it's not like I'll never get there. Well, you may not get
If
there.
you're lucky, you will.
If you're lucky, you will get there, and you're going to want to have that support in that area. So, thank you, Tiffany, for coming in. Wishing you nothing but great success moving forward.
Thanks so much.
Think about this, not to break any HIPAA laws or anything like that. If you are interested in bringing in a client, okay, or two,
Yeah.
they want to talk about, it'd be great to have the guy who danced at the 50th anniversary, wedding anniversary. But if you want to bring people in that have benefited from your services, please let us know.
Oh yeah, no shortage of that. They'd be happy to
Consider
share
it
with
done.
you. Yeah.
We'll circle back later. Tiffany
great.
Picayune, Executive Director of the Challenge Center. Really appreciate you coming in. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show. And to our audience, we hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.